Hi guys, if you are following me, then you might know that we are working in this Netflix series application since my last two videos. And in the very first video of this Netflix series application, we have seen what is props. And in our second video of this Netflix series, in our previous video, we have seen that what is array method and how can we use array to point out all these cars in the Netflix series. And let me show you the code. Since we have done our previous video, this was the whole code that how can we display the data in cars by using array. And in today's tutorial we will see what is array map and fat arrow function. What is basically array map method? You can say this card component is this entire which is selected, and inside this entire card we have image source, image, name and link, which are basically uh, fetching by the array which is shown here. And if we use the array map method, you can see that from line 14 to line 37 there is a huge code, and with the help of array map we can write all this code. Or if we have multiple code more than this, like if we have hundreds of codes, then we will make maximum 10 lines of code and the entire data would be displayed like these cars. At this time these are only 5 cars, that's why these are showing these 5 arrays that are cars. So if you have hundreds of cars, you will see that there is a huge of code, but by the help of array map you can see that this is taking maximum 8 to 10 lines to display everything from the array. So first of all, let me tell you what is array map basically in practical. So I have to delete all the cars and I need only one card, and here I am taking array map. First of all, I have to write the name of that array, which is basically as data dot map, and inside map we have to pass any random value. You can say this is val, and this is basically not a value but this is just a function. Let me define that function outside function, and here I am writing the name of that function, and here is the sign of function. And inside this function, first of all we have to pass here value as well. So I am just writing vv, this is any random value, it is just a parameter. So inside this function I would have to display all that code, Control X, and I will paste all the code here. So first of all I have to write return because this function would return that code, and here I am pasting all the code. So first of all I have to write this array with vv. vv is nothing but just is pointing to that whole array at the time being. So let me remove all these, and here I am writing vv, and let me save it and display the output. Control S. One thing that I forgot is I have to write this in curly braces. As you can see that this is JavaScript value, so we have to write it in curly braces. And here I don't gonna give any semicolon. Control S, and let me show you. As you can see that now it is displaying all the cars. We have basically 6 elements in that array. This one is the first element, and from here to that point we have second element, and this is third element, fourth, fifth, and you can see that this is the sixth one. So let me show you that how is basically it working. Control S. Basically this VV is pointing to that whole array, and when we are calling that function through array map method, this array map method is starting from index of 0 of that array and is going to the end of that array. So it will basically point out to the entire array. That's why it is sequentially displaying all that code. So if I further want to simplify it, how can I do it? First of all, I have to create here. Let me further explain it. Control Z. Basically, if we talk about array map method, as data dot map, in this map we have basically three variables. The first variable is pointing to value, and the second is pointing to the index of the array. Current value, this is basically the current value of the array, and here I have only passed one variable which is pointing to the value, which is current value of the array, and third one is basically the array. This is not used by the function because this is just for our knowledge. If we want to work in our website or any React application after some days or some months or some years as well, so whenever we work in this array map, we can forget that what is basically this array map is pointing to array. So I am just writing here the name of that array because this is the head. This is, you can say that it is the highlighting that to which array we are pointing out and working on the array. So that's why it is used this third parameter. This is just for our knowledge. So this second index is basically, this second value is basically used as index of the array. It will show or you can pass it by yourself. So at my code I need only value because I am pointing to that whole array. That's why I am using only value. It will show the current value for every time, and it will start from 0 index till the end index of that array. So let me further minimize that code. Here we have to pass the values. You can see that this is the same as we have function val. I have created this val directly, and here I am going to write the function. I am just copying it and pasting. Let me remove it because sorry, this is not removable. This is our course closing tag. Control X, and here I am going to paste the whole code. So I gonna remove that function. You can see that at the same point I have written the function as well. Control S, and let me show you the output. You can see that it is still outputting the same values. We have done nothing but just that value, which is val. We have created it directly inside. We have written the function, and this value is pointing now as function. Now further we have passed a value. Basically array dot map is a function, and inside this function we have further a function which is named as val. So this is also known as functional programming. So you can see that inside this array map method we have a function, and this function is returning that code. and this code is starting from 0 index of that array and is going till the end index of that array. So this was the whole code. Basically the last thing that I gonna tell you is that which I told you, that fat arrow function. So let me explain what is fat arrow function. Let me have an example function, and here I am just writing the name of function fun, and here I am making curly braces, and if I want to pass two values a and b, and here I am going to return a plus b, and here semicolon. This is basically our function. Now if we want to transform this function to our fat arrow function, how can we do? First of all, we have to write a variable which is of const type. We can have any variable. Let me the same variable. I have to write equal, because this is just a variable and pointing to that function. Here I am passing a and b, and here I am just writing return a plus b, and you can see that this function is now transformed to that function which is known as fat arrow function. This is nothing but just a function. This is const type, where you can have any variable here is equal to a and b. These are passing two values, and now this function is transformed to fat arrow, and the remaining part is same. And if by some reason we forgot to write return, this function would also work same. So if we don't write here return, it would automatically consider that it have to return that value. So this was the power of fat arrow function basically, and this fat arrow function is extensively used in React.js. So I hope you understood it. So let me convert this function with fat arrow function. So first of all, I have to write equal sign, and here I have to remove that function. So I'm just deleting the name of that function, because this one is nothing but just here you can say it is looking like a variable of const type, and here I have deleted that variable because we don't need that variable. So we are just writing here as we have passed some value which is same as we have passed that parameter, and we have converted the function to the fat arrow. The remaining part is still same. So this is basically our fat arrow function. Let me remove that explanation, Control S, and let me show you the output. You can see that here is still the output same, and our code is minimized as much as possible. You can see that from line 13 to line 20 to line 21, you can see that this is a short code, and through this short code we have pointed to all that array. So this was the power of array map method, and I have also written fat arrow function. This was whole about today, and today our Netflix series went to end now. I hope you understood what is fat arrow function and array map method, and you might think that how it is. You can see it is as much as possible minimized code, and also looking meaningful, instead of we were copying that code again and again, and we were writing the array and we were passing any value to that array from 0 index to any index. It was up to you.